Hey, you guys. Welcome back to 31 Days of Devotion. This is Adreanna Limbach coming back to you from Mindful Meditation Studio here in New York City. It's really great to be back on the cushion with you guys again today to launch our second week of the program. So if you're still with us, week 2, congratulations. So week 2, we're going to be doing a little bit of exploration into the path of compassion and really taking some time this week to focus on moving towards our heart and opening up our heart to ourselves, to others, and to society at large. And I think the importance of compassion, particularly in a meditation practice, cannot be understated. It really is sort of the soft landing that we give ourselves when we take time to look at our minds. So as you've probably noticed in your meditation practice, when we sit down on the cushion, we get a front row view of our own minds. Sometimes what we find is really interesting and delightful. Sometimes what we find is not necessarily our finest aspects, so to speak. I think that there's a lot that we sort of push to the side in terms of difficult emotions and perhaps painful memories. So all of that stuff can arise on the meditation cushion. And what makes it workable, or what gives us some room to be with that in a skillful way, is the practice of compassion. It's often said in the Buddhist traditions, at least, that a bird needs 2 wings to fly. The first wing is wisdom, which is what we're doing with the clarity, the focus, sitting down, taking a front row view of our minds. And the second wing is compassion. That one without the other is a little bit lopsided. So we're going to be spending a good week this week focusing directly on compassion and working with our hearts. And I think particularly this time of year, there can be this real sort of enthusiasm and energy and zeitgeist of committing to developing a more sane, a more whole, a quote-unquote better you, which is amazing. That again, we kind of have this whoosh of energy at the beginning of the year. We take inventory of our lives, decide what to keep, what to discard. But something that tends to come up is this whole idea in the new year of new year, new you. And while I love that idea with all of my heart, I think that the meditation masters, so to speak, would kind of laugh at that idea. The whole idea of building a new you is kind of like, well, good luck with that, because the kicker is wherever you go, there you are. For better or worse, we are sort of stuck with ourselves. We're our own life partners, whether we like it or not. And so rather than trying to sort of cut ourselves off at the knees and develop a new you through shifting our exterior circumstances, what if instead we decided to just develop a better relationship to the same old us that we have always been and that we're going to carry with us through our lives in a way that feels more self-aware, more kind, and more genuinely friendly towards ourselves. So that's going to be the theme of our week. It's definitely going to be the theme of our practice today. So wherever you happen to be, taking a moment just to find your seat. And as always, if you're seated on a traditional meditation cushion, it's letting the legs be loosely crossed, or perhaps resting on the shins. It's making sure that our body really has some buy-in here. We're not struggling against ourselves, sort of antithetical to the practice of self-compassion. If we're seated on a chair, couch, letting our feet be flat on the floor, creating this sturdy base in our body. And perhaps opening up practice today, it's by giving ourselves a few deep inhales And deep exhales. It's signaling to the body that we've arrived. This is our practice. We're here for it. And then it's letting the breathing stabilize. Breathing as we naturally would. Not much effort. And we'll take a few moments to move into our practice through our senses. Just locating ourselves here in space. So first and foremost, shifting our attention over to the sensation of sound. Taking in the tonal quality of the room that you're in. Any noises that are present. Continuing to stay open but not fixated on sound. Shifting our attention over to the sensation of touch. Perhaps feeling the shape that the body makes. The texture of our clothing on our skin. Temperature of the air. So again, very little effort. It's opening up to what already is. Arriving fully. Dropping our attention into our feet. Maybe wiggling a toe or two here. Just feeling our feet. Grazing our attention along the tops of the shin bones into the knees. Tracing the attention along the tops of the thighs into the hips. Sit bones. Moving our attention into our belly, our chest. Maybe even placing one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, if that feels honest. Taking just a few moments here to feel the body breathing. Again, very little effort required. And then locating that point in the body where you can most easily feel the breath. So wherever the breath is most available today, most easily felt, just marking this as home base, the place that we return to. And we'll continue into practice with that singular instruction. And that as our minds wander, no big deal. That's what the mind does. Just noticing when we've left our breathing, acknowledging what captures our attention, and then gently but firmly back to the breath in the body. So again, no need to force the breath. We're really just taking some time to bear witness to the way the breath expresses in the body, and showing up for ourselves in this way. And in those moments that we find ourselves wandering, just acknowledging where we've landed, nod of recognition, and back to the sensation of breathing, resting here. And then in the spirit of working with our hearts today, in those moments that we find ourselves wandering, it might be worth just offering ourselves these phrases. I see you. Thank you for the information. I love you. And back to the breath in the body. I see you. Thank you for the information. I love you. And again, we go back to the breath. And again, If we've left our breath, left our body, no big deal. I see you. Thank you for the information. I love you. And feeling the body breathe. And again, wherever our attention lands, it's providing a bit of gentle stewardship towards our mind, towards our attention, ushering ourselves back. I see you. Thank you for the information. I love you. And again, back to our breathing. And again, wherever we've landed, a light touch of acknowledgement, a little bit of love, and feeling the body breathe. This continual return. And in our final few moments of practice, taking an opportunity just to touch in on what brought you to the cushion today, why you said yes, that impulse or intention, inspiration for being here. And closing out just by extending a bit of thanks to ourselves. Again, maybe one hand on the heart if that feels honest. Kind word, giving ourselves some credit. And then as we're ready, just allowing formal practice to drop. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for practice today. I hope that the rest of your day, however long it is glorious. And I will not be back on the cushion with you tomorrow. We have a contributing teachers for the rest of the week. As always, if you have thoughts, have comments, we love to hear them. So please don't hesitate to reach out. We're real human beings out here in the ether. Have a beautiful day, and thank you for practice.